This is Chris Hansen.
Chad doing Rip City Radio here.
It's your favorite basketball player, Tyler Hansbrough.
This is Jamie Hudson.
This is TJ Hooshmanzada.
And I'm going to let y'all know something.
Duke sucks and Duke will always suck.
You're listening to
It Just Makes Sense.
It Just Makes Sense.
Listen, this podcast is not about being right. It's about being entertaining and sometimes right.
Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Are those wine coolers? Open one, bitch.
Yeah.
Put it right here.
This is my Make-A-Wish. I'm leading this now.
I totally get the Knicks organization seeing Thibodeau and going, this is as far as we're going to get with this type of coach. If we want to make it over the hump, we need somebody else. I get it. I think it's harsh, like the timing of when he got fired, but I get finding somebody else. We're back. Clear eyes.
Full heart!
Can't lose.
Play like a champion!
How dare you?
Go ahead and cut out all of that College World Series stuff.
Dare
You just had to get that out of your system. And then
Philip Rivers is checking out Texas.
is that right?
Gunner
Rivers. Of course. Of course. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you name him Gunners Rivers?
Gunners River. Why would you do the plural on that?
Because it just makes sense, bud.
I wonder, does Philip Rivers have, he's about to field an entire football team.
No, he's got 12 now, I think.
I thought he had 9.
No, I think with him and his wife, they have 12.
Oh, my gosh. Personal life. Oh, my gosh. Who writes the Wikipedia of this as long as his kids' names?
Do you think we have Wikipedia pages like us?
No.
No.
No, I do not. But you know what? We should, because we just had... This is our 200th episode, boys. 200. Episode 200. Who would have thought?
It's really quite something.
They lined up as long down the street as they did at Jollibee.
Yeah.
What a time.
My hands
We
are cramping
just
from
got-
all the autographs
We
for
just
merch.
got finished
Yeah.
doing
What do you call
autographs.
the fucking thing?
Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel.
The carpal tunnels,
So many,
yeah.
so many signatures.
Yeah, so many tunnels.
How much do you guys actually write, though? Because whenever I pick up a pen or a pencil these days, it's a rough go.
Yeah.
I'm writing a letter. No, thank you.
I mean,
Can't do that.
I write with pen and paper.
I'm old school. I always write with pen and paper, but as far as volume writing, that doesn't happen until the last few days because we're writing thank you notes.
Oh, sure. Oh,
And they're all handwritten.
yeah.
They're all handwritten and not only handwritten in the cards, but it's handwritten for the address. We didn't do labels.
Wow.
So everything we've been writing a lot.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think I've already got the arthritises, and I'm mid-30s here.
So you think arthritis deserves pluralization, but Gunner does not?
So
I'm trying it on for size just to see.
Is it arthritis if it's just one bone?
Arthritis.
I got the arthritis.
I got arthritis in my index.
Yeah, arthritis. You know
I got arthritis.
that's when you hurt your wrist, right? I hurt my wrist. R.I.P. They did.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Doctor goes, it's not that bad of a case. It's arthritis.
It
hasn't spread yet.
You just got the arthritis.
It's just part of you.
Right. It's the little version.
It's a singular problem. Now, when you have arthritis,
Yeah.
you come back and talk to me.
Yeah. And this is the pre-stages of. Well, let's see. So, 200th episode, Jollibee is open, and you are fighting every urge in your being to be there right now.
I just think whether it's a fucking... I've stood in line, or I've waited in line before. I've waited in line for sneakers before. I've waited in line for, a PlayStation before. I just think I'm past... In my life, I'm past the stage of waiting in lines.
Sure. All right.
this is, I think we're at the stage in our lives where we pay for convenience. And I knew that several years ago when Jermon and I went to a club and we're like, we're gonna pay the bouncer and skip this shit.
A ton of money to get in the side door.
This was like, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And we were in Scottsdale. We got in line to go to this club. And we're like, dude, I'm fucking over this.
Yeah.
I mean, how much money you got? So we give the bouncer like $80. Hey, can you skip the line? He goes, fuck yeah, $80?
Mm-hmm.
We skip the line. We get in there and we're like, I don't want to be in here.
Yeah.
So we get a drink. We pound the
You're
sugary
done.
drink and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Your $17 tequila soda.
So I just don't, as much as I want to have me some local hometown Jollibee, I just don't think I'm willing to wait in line.
The fear, though, is that, like, how long will it go before it actually, like, calms down?
I still believe that the line will die down before people think it's gonna be going on forever. But I don't think Jollibee has the following that everyone is seeing.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against it, but I just don't think it's gonna have the lines like that in and out.
Right,
has.
yeah. No offense to Jollibee, but it isn't an in and out.
I don't think it's a 6-month fucking wait period.
You think just a couple weeks?
Maybe a month. I don't know.
Would you have some breakfast chicken joy just to know that, like, you weren't in line for a really long time?
See, I've never been one to label certain foods as like breakfast, lunch. I eat pancakes for dinner, so I will eat fried chicken for breakfast and spaghetti.
Yeah, Miguel likes to stand up against the patriarchy.
Yes.
He
Dude,
likes
they
to
also
remove
have
all
this
labels.
pineapple quencher.
Wow.
Look out for that one.
They can't legally call it a drink.
It's just
a quencher, dude.
a juice.
It's a
just
quencher, you
pineapple.
dumb
Don't you dare call it a fucking juice.
I did see a TikToker just call it a juice. She took a sip and she's like, "That's just juice." So,
Legally, it's
yeah.
not.
She also did this to the meat to tell you how crispy it was. She ASMR'd. It was awful.
She doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
She doesn't deserve that food.
She's like a little mouse. Anyways, well, speaking of the patriarchy, we were planning on talking about Taylor Swift buying all of her masters, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
Good for her.
Yeah.
What does that allow you to do? What does that
patriarchy.
allow you to do? Because that's a lot of money she spent. So what advantages did it give her, and what did she take away from people that owned it?
Okay, so let me put this in sports terms, okay? So say you are a television network that doesn't broadcast a game. You can only use some highlights or whatever, or you can talk about the NBA, but you can't show the NBA. But, like, television rights holders can show as much as they want because they pay to have those rights. So now she owns all of her masters and all of her footage and all of the things.
That was a terrible explanation.
In which she can...
You confused the shit out of me
well,
more.
there you go.
Well,
I thought you. It seems like you were
to me.
You were nearing a point where, like, I was starting to think of her like she's ESPN.
She now is ESPN.
And versus like what she was like CBS.
She was Coin 6 before.
She talked about
She was
the
local
weather.
news for a while.
Basically, what happened is there was this guy, Scooter Braun, who owned the rights to her music.
He bought
And-
them from Big Machine,
Yes.
where she was originally with.
And so anytime, that song made money, instead of Taylor Swift getting paid, this other guy was getting paid. So you may have heard of Taylor's version of certain songs.
Yeah.
So she re-recorded all those songs and got her cult following to only listen to those
To the
versions
Taylor's version.
to make sure that she gets paid.
Yeah.
But now she, made a deal with this Scooter Braun fellow, and now she owns all of it. So now she gets paid for all of her music, no matter what.
$360 million deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how many artists, not necessarily in her position, but how many artists own their own shit?
Not a ton.
Not a lot.
So you're telling me that if they don't own it, that they get no royalties whenever their song is played in the radio?
I would say that it's probably negotiated to
It's
a degree.
like it's a case by case thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a kind of the crux of why artists, think so low of record companies and things of that nature, because they really take advantage of you. If you're a young artist who's, trying to get into the music industry, you'll sign pretty much anything
Yeah.
to, get, $100,000 signing bonus, just to have something in your pocket. But then in that contract that you just signed, you just basically said that you're going to provide them with 6 albums.
Yeah.
And they own all of the IP, right?
Exactly.
So intellectual property. So all that shit that you did, anytime it gets paid, well, you got your $500,000 check. Remember, we paid you up front for that, so we get all the residual and the royalties. So they fuck over a lot of young artists.
It's different for bigger names where there's maybe a little bit more latitude.
I always revert back to
Generally
like
speaking.
Nas. Nas put his daughter as like a producer in all of his albums. So this was when she was a baby. So she gets royalties whenever a song is played. So I didn't know how many of these situations exist where artists are not getting paid whenever their song is played in a movie or a radio or wherever.
Yeah, and that's probably pretty smart to do, and I'm sure that a lot of bigger names can negotiate things like that. Just like how you see, like, bigger celebrities will be like executive producers on shows, but it'll just be in title. They're not actually really doing anything. They're just
$360 million is
co-sponsoring.
nothing to laugh at, but where she is right now, you could imagine she'll make that money back fairly quickly.
And it also like protects your image long term, because Taylor Swift is not going anywhere.
Right.
She is going to be a mega star until the day she dies, barring she does something terrible. But like if he owned that music in 10 years and he's broke and he decides he's going to then sell it to somebody else who is going to make a musical with Taylor Swift music, and it can really blossom into something that can get out of hand.
But now she has full control.
But now you have full control.
Well, and it's interesting too, because it's like, you buy it for $360 million. Well, then all of a sudden, now that because it's her IP, it probably like doubled in value just overnight, and that's the only way that would happen too, because it's like, all of a sudden now it's become infinitely more valuable, not just because it changed hands, but it changed into her hands.
I feel like too, if anyone else did this, there's a good chance they'll make the money back at some point, like get 100% return. But with her, I feel like she might get that 360 back in like record time.
Oh, she
like
probably already has.
Like insane. Like she already made it back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Music is.
I don't think that there's a lot of artists that could pull this off.
There's probably less than 5 or 10 that exist.
Yeah.
But
And
is owning the IP for music different than like merch? Like if you own the IP for music, does that mean that Scooter also owned any Taylor Swift merch?
No.
So would that be like another company, or is that her?
That would would be her.
Yeah, usually that's a fairly standard agreement with artists. When any profits you make from touring and from merchandise, that's all goes to the artist or to the band or whatever.
Yeah. Boom.
Get her on the phone. I have some more questions.
Should we start a talent management company?
Hey, listen. I love a good pyramid scheme here. So
I think would happen if,
As long as you're at the top of it, they're great.
it's great.
if somehow we can get, what would happen to this podcast 200 episodes in if Taylor Swift is in this garage
Wow.
as a special guest in a sports gambling podcast?
Yeah, Lindsay would shit herself. It's
And it
never
would just
gonna
be
happen.
an entire.
If
It
Taylor
would be
Swift,
a Chiefs episode. It would be a Kansas City Chiefs episode, essentially.
If Taylor Swift is ever a guest on this podcast in any medium, whether that is a phone call, a video conference, if that ever happens, I will suck both of your dicks.
Deep fakes are a thing. Like, it has to be actually her.
Yeah,
I don't know.
obviously.
It's not going to happen.
Like, how would people question us? Like, what can we do?
How would people question us like this?
No.
How would they know?
How the fuck did you get Taylor Swift?
How could we prove that it's not a deep fake? What would be like the things we could provide to prove that it's not a AI deep fake, that she's actually a guest? Let's say in person.
Honestly, if it was real,
She would have to. It would have to come from her. She would have to promote it, right?
If we really did, I think that would be the type of moment where I wouldn't care. If you don't want to believe it, that's fucking fine.
Yeah.
I do not give a shit. Because
I don't have to
I just
defend this.
experienced this. You just experienced
Yeah.
it. And that's all I need
That's
to
all
know.
that matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we could say, and then,
But yes,
and then,
it would help if she promoted it.
I mean, if she
And then the
promoted
footage accidentally got corrupted and
Yeah.
it never went live. But hey, it happened.
Oh,
the
man.
following would be insane. The minute the first 30 seconds of her promoting it,
Oh, my God.
it would be fucking nuts.
It would, I bet, and not just us, obviously. If Taylor Swift was to, to go on a random podcast and like promote it and support it, 1 million followers in a week,
Yeah.
I think would be easy.
You know how many people in Singapore would be listening to us then?
12.
Yeah, maybe. At least a couple more in Germany,
Dude,
too.
I just want it to happen, and then Taylor Swift promotes it, and all of a sudden we have fucking 15 million new subscribers, and then I get a call from Pat McAfee, and I get to hang up on him. No time for you right now, Pat. We're busy.
This is the theoretical conversation that we all have when the lottery gets to $1 billion, right? You go, oh, what would you do if you won the lottery? And then you do this very conversation, only Taylor's version. So
Yeah.
boom shaka.
I will say, though, since we're talking about celebrity guests, when the point comes that we decide we're hanging up the microphones, the headphones, and finishing, putting a close to this podcast, I do think that we get Chris Hansen one more time.
I would love it.
Because
it would have to be
will-
in person.
No.
We'd have to spend the money to fly him out.
Or we fly to
no,
him.
we go
We
Oregon,
go to Chris.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
We take him to the game.
Hey,
Oh, he's not
Chris.
allowed. He's not allowed to be in games.
Why?
Restraining orders. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Chris, you want to go to a game? Wanna
He's
catch
not
a
allowed
game?
to be within 500 feet of any school.
Of any Michigan State player.
But no, that would be, I think, a nice little cherry on top to this, because I
A
think
weekend bender with Chris Hansen.
yeah. But I just think, when we did that interview, it was way earlier in our, podcasting.
It was Office.
experience.
It was the Office podcast.
Yeah. Oh, it was like week 5, and we're like, yeah, let's get fucking Chris Hansen. We can handle this.
You're listening to This Just Makes Sense. You go, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think with Chris Hansen too, because he's still, even though it's not televised on cable anymore, he does the YouTube, like To Catch a Predator still.
Sure.
Yeah, he's
What
still
if
very
we,
relevant.
Like, we get him, like, hey, this is kind of our farewell thing. We want to get you on board. But then he has us on an episode of catching fucking perverts.
Oh, yeah.
So can you imagine, like, a fucking pedo walking into the house and us three, like, what are you doing here?
Surprise, motherfucker. Yeah.
Are those wine coolers? Open one, bitch.
Yeah.
Put it right here.
This is my Make-A-Wish. I'm leading this now.
It's the most watched episode of To Catch a Predator because we just start beating the shit out of the guy before Chris gets to question him.
Stomping on him.
Dick in hand, pulling it. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be fun to have him back on.
Love that. Love the idea.
Are we talking about the end? Is this
I
your,
know.
Is
This
this your
just the
nos-
beginning.
Is this your
Wow.
nostalgic way of
Yeah,
like?
seriously.
Hey, so at the end we get Chad Dewing,
Yeah.
and
He's
Chris
reminiscing
Hansen,
because we're at 200.
TJ Husmanzada.
It's 200, dude. I'm
Yeah,
looking
he's-
back. I'm
I think
reminiscing.
if the
I'm
person we
thinking
need
about
to
how
reach
far
out
we've
to
come.
is Joey Harrington and say, "Look what you missed out on, you fucking bitch."
I know. Is he hard up for money yet? We'll give him $30 for a
Joey,
cameo.
you could have made a fuck ton of money on this.
you missed the train, bud.
Yeah, we don't want you anymore. We don't want you anymore.
We got Masoli right here. Say hi to Joey.
Sorry, Martha, baby. The G train has left the station. Name that movie.
I have no idea what that
Forrest
is.
Gump.
Nope.
Oh, fried green tomatoes.
Jen
Nope.
A.
Say it again.
Hangover.
Sorry.
Should I do it in the voice of the character?
Yes.
Sure.
Well, I'm sorry, Martha, baby, but the G train has left the station.
Harry Potter.
No.
The Grinch?
Yes.
Is that the Grinch? All right.
Which one?
Jim Carrey.
Duh, duh, duh.
That's the Grinch.
Yeah.
Anyways, baseball.
No, you've got a story about Cusco that you need to
Oh,
share.
fuck.
Your dog, yeah.
Okay, so
Pause.
yesterday,
Is this a good story? Like not anything sad?
it's not good. It's not sad.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
It's kind of. I'm just gonna tell the story.
Yeah.
So yesterday.
Just tell the story.
Okay.
Yeah, just telling the story.
Obviously, as you guys know, beautiful weather in Oregon right now. Just an incredible
Yeah, we're
time
on
to
a
be
good
an
run.
Oregonian.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather. So when the weather is nice, we let Cusco stay outside all day as much as he want. We keep the door cracked just enough so he can come in and out as he pleases.
You can bask.
Yeah, and he lays in the sun. He's a very good dog, and I will often go out and like the other day, I fixed my sprinkler system. Not a big deal.
All
Yeah.
right, Mr. Domesticated.
I
You
know.
got an Instagram page you could follow for
Yeah.
like
We'll see.
handyman shit.
Yeah.
Brax, the contractor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well now, does it?
Clown on him. He listens.
Anyways, so there's that gate by the front of my house that all open, and Cusco does a very good job of not going out the gate. And anyways, Jera was walking around the house with Quentin because that is something he likes to do. It'll calm him down, keep him busy from crying or whatever. And she forgot to latch the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And we're inside, hours later, and we hear some growling and barking starting. And this woman is like screaming. And we're like looking around for Cusco, and he's nowhere to be seen. So we're like, oh shit. So I run out there, and Cusco is like kind of, cowering and like walking back towards me. And you can tell this woman is very, very frightened. And there's this other guy who's holding a dog. And I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize the gate was open. And I get Cusco back in the house. He comes back in. And, he's not hurt. There's no bites. There's no nothing. And I go back out. And I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry. I hope my dog didn't do anything. And she was like, no, he didn't do anything. He was just walking up to us. He's obviously very nice. But my dogs are incredibly aggressive. And that just scared the shit out of me. Like that, I'm shaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, I just need to sit down. And I was like, okay, well, do you need like water or anything? She's like, no, I just need to sit down.
Is this in front of your house?
Yes. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go back inside. If you need anything, feel free to come knock on the door. And I'm kind of inside my house, but listening
Peering through the blinds.
listening out the door to see if she's like talking shit or something.
Right.
Because from what I gathered, it doesn't sound like Cusco really did anything. It sounds like he just approached them.
She was worried about the possibility that something
Yes.
bad
And
could
Cusco
happen.
didn't go far. This is all happening
No.
in front of your driveway.
Saw
Yes.
another dog, was like, hey, dog. But
Yeah,
then-
it sounds like he saw the dog, started approaching them. The two dogs started growling and barking and like lunging, and he got scared and like came back in our yard and was just kind of chilling. So, anyways, I'm like sitting at the screen door, kind of listening, and I can hear her saying, "Oh, the guy's like, hey, do you want to just go back home?" And she's like, no. I'm just like kind of in shock. I just want to chill. I just want to hang out here. And he was like, okay. And then, it was kind of awkward. They were just sitting there for
Together?
yes, they were together. They were both walking their dogs, and it became like kind of unusual amount of time
that they were sitting
that they were sitting there.
Yeah.
And I tell Jera this. I'm like, hey, it's kind of weird that they're still out there. Will you go look through our front door that has like the little blind things on it, peek through the blinds and see what's going on? And she's like, yeah, she's just sitting there. And then she's like, why is she sitting in a puddle?
Oh, no.
And Jared's like, I think she peed her pants.
No way.
Puddle? That much piss?
Yeah, she's like sitting. I can tell that there's like a wet spot underneath her on the curb.
And it's hot and dry as fuck.
And it's a warm day.
This isn't from your sprinklers or nothing.
And sure enough, she stands up to walk back to her house, and she pissed her pants.
What the hell?
It scared the piss out of her.
Literally.
And
What kind of dogs does she have?
They were two pit bull boxer mixes.
The type that stereotypically would be ones to fight.
Yeah.
So you have two.
That's crazy.
You have two quote unquote
Nothing even
aggressive
happened.
dogs.
I mean, the threat of something happened, but
Yeah.
But if you have two aggressive dogs and it affects you that much, I mean, I'm not saying don't walk your fucking dogs, but like, if it's gonna affect you that much, you're gonna run into other dogs, dude. Like you're in a neighborhood.
this is not good for your
Well,
health.
and also
Clearly,
it's like- maybe put a muzzle on them or something if you want.
I mean, do something. Go to a park where it's not crowded, or go somewhere where you know you won't run into another dog.
But-
If it affects you that much,
Yeah, I feel
stay
awful
home.
for this person.
I
but,
know.
like,
I was because
this is self-inflicted at this point.
I know, and I felt a little torn
kinda
because on
bad.
one side it's like, I'm sorry that this affected you, but on the other, I recognize that it's not really my fault.
Right? Yeah.
And it
was an
It's
accident that the
and it's
gate
kind
was
of
open.
funny that this grown woman pissed herself.
My God. Yeah,
I don't even think it goes as far as that. If it affects you that much, why do you have those breeds?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, she sounds like the type of woman that would have like a fucking doodle.
Yeah,
You know,
Or
like
even those
I don't know.
small, tiny
and
little
the thing,
toy dogs.
she has the big dog in her right hand, left arm in a sling.
Her left arm was
Her
in-
left
oh
arm
my
in a
gosh,
sling.
This woman is a wreck.
So,
Yeah.
anyways,
this is all on her.
yeah, I
all
didn't-
on her.
I didn't feel the only reason I felt bad is because she pissed herself.
Yeah. Well, you know what? She can now has the opportunity to wash her body with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
There is Sydney.
What a transition.
That's the 200th episode level transition.
Lady
for
pissed
you.
herself, and let's drink Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
Not our first rodeo, folks.
Sydney Sweeney. What a genius marketing.
Be
for
honest, how
everyone.
many of you have looked at how much a bar of soap is?
I didn't, but I imagine
I didn't.
just because I figured it'd be sold out.
Well, I have 5 coming.
No, you do not.
Yeah, I do.
From Dr. Squatch. or-
$14.99 each. It's 3 times the cost of Irish Spring.
Wow. Sydney Sweeney. I bet it's like drops of bathwater
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're getting an eyedropper and just
going bloop bloop bloop.
Yeah.
But hey, it's got her DNA in it
Smells
or
like,
something.
If it smells like her vagina. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know how much.
I don't know. Hopefully, Ashley doesn't see the package coming.
So they were selling 5,000 bars of soap. It feels like, how come people haven't done this before?
I mean, there's definitely been the selling of bath waters jar. There was one lady who like went to the hospital because she was eating so much like beans and gas X because
The
of the
90-day fiance.
the demand for her farts.
Oh gosh, really?
She would jar her
You
farts.
don't remember that?
No.
This is the same season as Ed with a big neck. So the
sure.
two lesbian girls, the one with like the pink hair.
Yeah.
So she was selling her farts in a mason jar,
All right.
and she needed to fart, and I think some of it turned into like she was selling poop, and
just-
the beans were pushing it out, so she went a little overboard. But like, it's more surprising to me that it took this long to see someone, even with her caliber, selling bathwater soap when like fucking reality TV stars have been selling fart bottles, you know, and like dirty underwear or like used socks or some shit.
Yeah. I think being able to do it with like a reputable and up and coming brand to kind of like play on that made it a little safer than her just being like, I'm going to sell my bathwater.
Whenever a topic like this or whenever this shit comes up, I can't help but go to, like, where my mind goes is the conference room, where people that are in charge are going, what's next?
No bad ideas, everyone.
Yeah, like, what are we doing to... Our company's in the red for the last 3 quarters. What's the next big idea?
We convinced Sydney Sweeney to give us a flyer on this.
And I like to always think it's some guy in the fucking mailroom that just got his ass promoted because he had this fucking idea.
The janitor's just walking by mopping.
So I've always thought about drinking.
What about her bathwater?
Sweeney's bathwater.
Yeah, it's like, you're a creep. I mean, this borders like being written up by HR or possibly fired to. You're a genius. I mean, like, you throw that idea out. You throw that idea out, one or two things.
What a 50-50 risk. You either get canned, you get bounced from the company, or you get fucking equity in the company.
Sure. This might be anyone else's ability to not get fired, say they make a suggestion like this, because they can always be like, hey, listen, Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap, right? The next time you say something creepy at work as a suggestion, you go, hey, I was just thinking outside.
There's a precedent to protect you.
You now have protections. It's like the law, right? It's like Sydney Sweeney versus bathwater. That is what this precedent is.
It's like
now.
I think you should leave sketch where it's like the guy in the marketing meeting who just goes way too far. Hey, Sydney Sweeney bathwater, guys. Don't forget.
Yeah.
We can put shit in our ice cream now.
Yeah. So if anything goes awry, you can now use this as precedent. So let's see, a couple other things before we get into sports. Did you guys know that a chipotle pepper is a jalapeno?
Yeah, it's like
it's a smoked and dried jalapeno. Yeah. Did you know that, though?
I
had no idea about that until yesterday. I was like, this is fascinating. I dare you guys in the comments to tell me that you knew that, because I cook regularly, and I just saw that yesterday, and I was like, there's no way. I thought I was being lied
I mean,
to.
I wasn't dumb enough to think that a chipotle pepper grew naturally as a chipotle pepper. I didn't know it was jalapeno.
I mean, I kind of thought it was, and then you dry it, you just like, oh, it's not good to eat normally. I don't know. I just never thought of it. And my brain just physically like never got to that point of like what actually is a
I didn't
chipotle
think
pepper.
that that's how it grew on like the stalk was in that dried form, obviously.
It's chipotle and adobo.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much we fight it. We always come back to food, fat fucks.
Quick side note.
Yeah.
I think I'm allergic to your garage.
Really? Are you dying? You need to open a...
I'm not dying, but this is 3 weeks in a row that my eyes have got
There's
itchy.
something in here, apparently, that is just...
If you're allergic to like pollen, a door's closed.
Yeah, maybe it's something else in here, though.
It's probably something on
Something.
the couch or whatever.
Something on the couch. Something's happening.
It's probably Peter's breath.
Yeah, it's true. Well, this year's NBA Finals is brought to you by Paul George. Let me tell you guys about this timeline. 2017, the Pacers traded Paul George to the Thunder for Domantas Sabonis and Victor Oladipo. In 2019, then the Thunder traded Paul George to the Clippers for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a haul of first-round picks. That helped them get pick swaps as well for Jalen Williams. And in 2022, Sabonis was traded to the Kings for Tyrese Halliburton. And so now, then Tyrese Halliburton finds his way to the Pacers. Boom shakalaka. Paul George gives you the NBA Finals of this year. So just so you know, that's how we got
Thanks,
this year's
Paul.
Finals. So,
This is the
that's the only way he's getting into
this.
the finals.
I love Indiana. This is the most boring fucking finals. I will bet you that the ratings on this finals will be one of the lowest in NBA history.
It will probably be the lowest. I mean, and I think that
this is the biggest fear, is like having these two in the finals.
right.
That's why I bet against it. But that $200, we're letting that ride. We're betting that on something else.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I just like, come on, Pacers Thunder.
That's right. This guy owes me $200 now.
It's like the worst thing that could have happened. I mean, we said, it'll be 50-50 at least. Like, let's have the Knicks in there. Let's have the Wolves in there or something.
Okay.
But like, we didn't even get either of those. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let's let it ride.
Okay. My whole thing is like maybe we take that $200 and turn it into a pretty fun NFL bet or something like that.
Yeah, I'm down. I just want to let it
You
ride.
fund the $200, I don't know, the collective bet. I don't know.
Well,
You win, I win, right? It's
I-
one of those things.
I
so.
want to take the $200 that I owe you, and I want to let it ride on one more bet. That's not too long.
You're trying to double or nothing him.
I'm
like
gonna double.
me.
Yeah, at least
Oh,
one.
Well,
At
okay.
least one. I don't do that a lot, but at least one. I'm not gonna keep going with it.
You only have to do it once.
You triple or nothing.
Now,
mate.
if I lose
and
it,
then it was a bad bet for me.
if I lose it, then I'll take the $400 and I'll fund
Oh my
whatever season-long
This
bet.
guy is kicking that can.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
$400 bet. That'd be pretty wild.
Hey, it's one double or nothing. You pick.
Okay. Well, I'm not doing that now.
But shitty finals.
I'm not doing it. There is one guy who does hope that the Oklahoma City Thunder win. BR Betting was promoting this guy, how he had a $13 bet to pay $270,000 he was picking all of the professional team winners over the last year of the Dodgers, Oilers, Liberty, Eagles, and now Thunder. The Thunder need to cash for him to win $270,000. The buyout was around $86,000.
Picking with how the regular season went for Oklahoma City, I don't think it's that crazy for people to pick them as a future. And there's a ton of these guys. Like Oklahoma City is the final leg to win whatever take they have. People that picked Indiana as a future is fucking crazy.
Yeah, because they were 50-1 to start the year.
So there is a guy that bet like $100 that stands to win $86,000 if Indiana wins the championship. And I think the buyout right now is at like $13,000. I don't, as much as I want Indiana to win, I don't think Indiana will beat Oklahoma City in the championship.
No, I would take that
Unfortunately,
$13,000 and run.
Yeah.
do you
taking
take
him
the
out.
$13,000 or do you wait for Indiana to possibly win game one or like even the series 1-1 and
See
then
if you can push it.
and
yeah.
then take the money? But like, how much more do you think they'll offer you from 13? Like, do you even think it'll hit 20?
I mean, the only way I think that it goes up is if Indiana goes up 2-1. You'd have to wait 3 games. I think them going up 1 game is not going to give you enough of a bump to make it worth it.
Yeah, I think you just kind of take it at this point.
Yeah,
It's a good run.
You take it.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Did you
I
see-
think this guy who's got the Thunder, I think he holds.
safe.
Yeah, he holds.
I mean, even if you want to hedge it with something else, but he's fine.
yeah.
Oklahoma City has a really good chance of winning it, unfortunately. But did you see another issue with DraftKings on how they refused to pay out a guy?
Oh, no, I didn't.
So this guy didn't bet on sports. So I don't know if this just like, clearly we don't even have college. So there's a lot of things that doesn't exist with our sports book. This guy bet on the fucking weather on DraftKings. But it's now in court. Like, I don't know if it's in court, but they're threatening to take it to court. The guy is. And the debate is like, okay, what case does he have and what case does DraftKings have, and see who is going to win. So he bet $300-something and he won $14 million.
Oh, my God.
And the bet was, I think if like by 5 p.m. we were going to hit like a certain temperature or some shit like that. And DraftKings play, their argument is he had, it's almost like he had a tool to look at, but it's something as unpredictable as the weather. But somehow he had a tool and he placed the bet last minute. He didn't place it like ahead of time. I don't know all the details about it, so I'm probably not making a lot of sense. But their argument is that he had inside info, basically. And he
Inside info on the weather?
And he placed the bet too close to when it was redeemed. And had it not been the case and he placed it like a day before, then they would have no choice but to pay it out. Does that make sense?
It sounds like their fault, though.
But it's
sounds
like
they
it's
shouldn't
a
take the bet.
But they're saying like the thing that's shitty for the guy is these states that you're in, they protect DraftKings because of how much money they get from it. But can you imagine being in a fucking litigation where you place a $300 bet and won $14 million against one of the biggest, if not the biggest, sports book in the fucking country?
And now you've got to sue them and take out.
And they don't want to pay it out.
Yeah,
they don't want to pay it out.
Wow.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, my guess is that DraftKings will probably ride that all the way down. Maybe they settle.
I mean, they probably have way more protection, better lawyers, the state on their side, IRS on their side.
Well, it seems like the Oklahoma City Thunder have the state of the NBA commissioner and the referees on their side as it relates to this series. I'm just curious how you guys see this one playing out. Series starting on Thursday. Let me bring up the line for game one. But just kind of initial thoughts there. And what do you think is kind of the X factor here? Is it going to be the offensive and 3-point ability of each team? Or are we going to see a, suffocating Thunder defense work its way?
I think there's no basketball talk here at all. There's zero basketball talk with this. It's already been decided.
The Thunder 9-point favorites.
The Thunder's going to win this series like gentleman's sweep, like 4-1.
That's kind of my thought. I think that Oklahoma City will win their 2 at home. They'll win 1 in Indiana. And then once they come back home, they're going to.
If you've watched every game, it could not be any more clear that the calls are going to go Oklahoma City's way. Like Shea's going to have all the phantom fucking fouls called his way. He's going to attempt 12 to 15 free throws a fucking game. Yeah, they're good defensively, and I hate to take away from that, but do you think that the NBA, being the entertainment company that it is going to want Indiana to win the fucking championship? No. Shea's the new face of the league. They made sure of that.
So let's see. So it's a runaway. You guys both say 4 or 5.
If Indiana wins 2 fucking games, I would be shocked. I would love to be wrong. I would love to have Indiana win the whole thing. But if they win even 2 games, I would be extremely surprised. I think they win 1 max.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thinking.
Okay, so have this debate with me then. Who do you think would have won in a 7-game NBA series between this year's 2025 Thunder and the 2012 Thunder, which had KD, Russ, Serge Ibaka, James Harden, and Kendrick Perkins?
How is it called? I mean, you're trying to have logical basketball talk. My point is, it doesn't exist with the current team. There's no basketball conversation.
But
I'm
you
having.
don't think those guys get those calls?
Superstars get calls. Every superstar has gotten
James Harden
calls.
is on the other side, right?
That was James Harden, Oklahoma City is not the James Harden
that we all
know.
Yeah,
this is third James Harden, third best player on the team. This is not
true.
MVP, 4-step back.
You would have to
points.
look at KD, Russ, Serge, Kendrick, Perkins, and James Harden in the current. They were the team that made the finals and got swept, right?
Yeah.
Or
if we were forced to answer this question, is this game being played in 2012? Is this game being played in 2025?
Sure.
Because that's every generational question: is when is it being played? What time? What type of referees, and how is it called? Because there's nothing basketball related anymore with this current Oklahoma City team.
It's being played in 2018.
Then anything before this year, I'm taking Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook's team.
Yeah, I think you got to take that roster, especially if you're getting their talent level at that time when they were on that team altogether, then yeah, I would take them. But I also just don't like this Oklahoma City
Fucking hate
Thunder
them. So
team.
I've never hated a team more.
And honestly, I don't mind Shea. It's Chet. I don't know.
Chet with his do-rag on the plane,
He
saying that
bothers me.
he came from the trenches. I'm like, bro, you went to a private school.
He bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
It's like you and I hate. I'm not on that same page. Like I don't like Chet. I don't like Jalen Williams. I don't like both Jalen Williams. I fucking can't stand Shea. But people, like we addressed this the other week. The people that are having arguments, they don't watch the games. They pay attention to stats because that's all. It's like some of the LeBron followers. It's all stats. It's not the intangibles that sometimes make you like a player. And people are like, oh, you're just hating on Shea. But the thing is, it's not hating when you have hours of footage to prove your point. When the NBA decides you are going to be the face of the league, you just need to not fuck it up, right? If you watch Shea as a Clipper before he went to Oklahoma City, pull up some of those highlights when he was a Clipper. Incredible. He didn't do foul baiting. He was just good. So you take the Shea of today without all the phantom falling down and all that shit and just the pure skill of getting to his spots and making baskets. That's what he was doing with the Clippers. And then it's like just the same with James Harden. Something clicks and we're like, oh, I'm going to do this because it's like selling your soul to the fucking devil. Does that make sense? It's
Sure.
like it's going to take you from here to here. People are going to hate you for it, but yes or no. And it's like that. It's like start acting a little bit. And then that's the difference between Shea from like 6-7 years ago to this one. And it makes him so unwatchable. So
But
unlikable.
if it wins him a championship, can you blame him?
I can't. No, I can hate it all I want.
Yeah.
But, the same way that he decides to do whatever he wants, like I don't have to like it. I can't stand it.
Do you think that with this finals matchup and how we've kind of seen super teams of late and their chemistry or lack thereof, do we feel that now we are in a death of the super team era? Or do you think that with now that we see in Indiana OKC finals that the NBA might continue to encourage, if not just outright campaign for super teams as to avoid an Indiana OKC series?
I mean, you would think that they lean into it because if this same matchup, but LeBron and KD are on these teams, people are tuning in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that it's a small market. But the fact of the matter is that these are both relatively younger teams, don't have as much quote-unquote star power, and they're small market. So the combination of all those things really don't, combine for a really successful, at least ratings-wise and viewership-wise.
It's not without two young faces of the league. I mean, I don't think that the NBA should be upset about having, these two guys to kind of headline their.
I think what's funny
NBA
when
finals.
shit like this happens is you always have, when you have the Lakers or Boston or the LeBrons or the Stephs of the world in the finals, it's almost automatic. You're like, yeah, I want to fucking watch it, even if I don't watch the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have the other group of people that's going, we want parity. I'm bored watching the fucking Lakers. I'm bored watching the Spurs. And then this shit happens. Those same people complaining don't watch.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck do you want, dude?
Wait, hold on. Yeah.
This is what you wanted. This is what you
asked
wished
for.
for.
They're like, oh, this is boring.
This is
It's
what
like,
you
oh, there's
asked
no
for.
who? Hallie who? Nah, I don't fucking watch that. It's like, this is what you wanted.
Yeah, and what the Knicks asked for and what they wished for was to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not beyond. And they did that and then proceeded to fire their head coach and Tom Thibodeau, who had led his New York Knicks to 4 playoff appearances in 5 years on in his tenure, and then back-to-back 50-win seasons, only to be shown the door for coming up short in the Eastern Conference Finals. React to me, boys.
Dumb.
I'm 50-50 on my opinion on this.
Yeah.
Mostly, at this point, we shouldn't be surprised. We saw Mike Malone's firing. That is way more confusing than this to me. I don't know how you feel about, like, I get
Michael Malone.
I think because it's fresh and it's more recent, and they were just in a fairly competitive series, him being fired, I get it. But, like, 3 weeks ago, we were just talking about what the fuck happened with Denver and Mike Malone. Like,
Sure.
I mean, you see these
a year removed from a championship.
Yeah, and third in the West, going in the playoffs. Like, what the fuck? Like, something's going on there. I'm not surprised anymore with the NBA and the coach firing. I get it's like a fucking harsh, cutthroat business, right? I don't necessarily think. I think it's harsh. I don't think it's dumb. I am like 50% thinking it's dumb, 50% I get it.
I think that the only way this isn't dumb is if they go ahead and hire Michael Malone. That is the only way that this isn't dumb. They go
just
and
do
they
the
get
old
the guy.
swap?
They do the old swap because they say, hey, who's a guy who has championship level experience? Okay, let's go get him. And then if you're looking into, like, you know, the coaches and kind of, you know, whittling their people down and everything, I think that Michael Malone is the other guy. I know that Johnny Bryant, who was the associate head coach for the Cavs, who used to be with the Knicks, by the way, for 4 years, is a finalist for the Suns job. So maybe they want to try and sneak in and go get this associate head coach who is like the belle of the ball right now.
I understand.
Who knows?
If I understand that point. If you're replacing him with a downgrade, then it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I totally get it. My whole point is, regardless of who's replacing him, I would totally understand if it's anyone below him, then, like, why the fuck did you make that move?
Yeah, well.
But the thing with Thibodeau
Happens all the time.
the thing with Thibodeau is, especially if you follow the league, he's a really good coach. But he's not. There is a certain level he has not gotten past.
Yeah, and he's an intense coach. I mean,
he's a grinder.
He's a grinder. He runs
He's
his guys in the
he's
ground.
an old school workhorse type coach.
Yeah.
Like, he will hurt you in a way, the same way that kind of like
He's part of a dying breed as far as
he's like a worse version of Terry Stotts.
Well, I was going to say he's right up there. He doesn't have the championship pedigree of like a Jim Harbaugh, but I feel like he's won and then he kind of wears out his welcome and then he needs to go somewhere else.
Well, the thing that he does is like the same way that Stotts treated like Dame and them, right? You would ride him all the way, and then he is hobbling in the playoffs.
And will only get you so far.
And the thing with Thibodeau is, like, he was playing 8 guys, maybe 9 guys deep. And Jalen Brunson is, like, hobbled come playoff time. Cat is hobbled come playoff time. He didn't have player management skills. He didn't have time management skills. And there's a certain level where, like, yeah, he makes 4 playoffs out of 5 seasons because he's really good. He's above average to get you there.
Yeah.
But then now you're having to face these like cerebral coaches.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that in his skill.
It feels kind of surprising. I mean, because like Jalen Brunson was asked after their playoff loss, like, hey, will Tibbs be back? It's like, is that even a question? Like, what are you talking about? Of course he's going to be back. And so, like, he's your guy. He's your superstar. Not only that, but Tibbs had Brunson's dad on the coaching staff. I mean, like, you know, and then all of a sudden you're going to, like, upset your superstar here? Like, I mean, unless, like, Michael Malone comes in and retains staff, but then at that point, or whomever, right? It just feels a little interesting.
I didn't know that. That's awkward.
That, like, Brunson had that, and maybe he was, like, looking out for the familial connection or whatever, but it's just like, but I mean, I guess like Dame and CJ both like Terry Stotts and everything like that. But I think that like what they said is like, oh, a different voice. And I know that like what was happening with Tibbs and Karl Anthony Towns kind of towards the end of the tenure.
Brunson's also not naive, dude. Like, it's like
he's got to say the right
this
thing.
is a cutthroat business. It's not like you're either going to upset him because you got rid of the coach he wants to play for, or you're going to upset him because you're not winning. And I totally get the Knicks organization seeing Thibodeau and going, this is as far as we're going to get with this type of coach. If we want to make it over the hump, we need somebody else. So I get it. I think it's harsh, like the timing of when he got fired, but I get finding somebody else.
A couple other names, and this is, I mean, when you're thinking New York Knicks, you're thinking like star-studded, big names usually are what.
Go get Rick Pitino.
The Knicks, and Pitino's not on this list, but here are the full list of names, at least according to DraftKings. So we already talked about Michael Malone and Johnny Bryant. Those are your top two. Your now like long shot, but still on the list include Jay Wright. Jay Wright has indicated his interest.
The Villanova connection I get.
Yeah.
I just don't think he'd be a good pro.
Yeah. Mike Budenholzer, championship coach. He's gotten the short end of it with the Suns and everything recently. He was removed from his post after helping win a championship with the Bucks, and then, got run out of town pretty quickly with the Suns. Rick Brunson, who, he was just the assistant. I don't know how I feel about that. But then you have Monty Williams, again, took the Suns to a NBA Finals. Taylor Jenkins with the Grizzlies. He got run out of town there despite multiple playoff appearances. John Calipari, Dan Hurley, and Jeff Van Gundy all wrap up that list.
Bring Van Gundy back.
Do it.
New York, early 2000s, late 90s, Jeff Van Gundy. He is my vote.
Dan Hurley,
as
feisty in the Garden. That would be pretty wild.
The Van Gundys need to coach again. I'm all about
I kind of agree. Especially bringing him back to New York. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Talk about movie, like the storyline of him being back, unless he fails.
I would love Calipari, Hurley, or Van Gundy in that. That would be fun. That would be, even if they suck.
Why not Rick? Throw Rick Pitino
Throw
in there.
Rick in there. Why not?
I'm all about watching the world burn, and I like seeing shit fall apart. I don't think Dan Hurley as a shit show is something we'll enjoy, because it will be a shit show.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be an enjoyable shit show for us to watch. I think it'd be more annoying than it is entertaining.
Yeah, I feel like it would get ugly quick.
Dan Hurley does not belong in the NBA.
Can coaches get suspended like players can for their amount of technical
Dan Hurley
fouls?
will create another type of suspension or expulsion or
Coaches.
something.
Yeah.
He will create something
Hurley
that will
rule.
be added to the contract.
There will be a Hurley rule.
Yeah. The guy just doesn't belong in the pros.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I don't hate the Taylor Jenkins. I don't hate the Mike Budenholzers. Monty Williams, he went to the Pistons, and that didn't go very well for him.
Is there some sort of an asterisk next to Mark Jackson's name? Why is he no longer being considered? Is he blacklisted from coaching?
It seems like it, yeah.
And we don't know what. Why is he not being considered for any coaching positions?
He can't close.
Well, I think that
there's something there. It's beyond. It's not about what he's capable of doing. There's something.
I think there was some reporting about him being too Jesus-y or something like that. I don't know if that's right, but
NBA is against the Bible, huh?
yeah,
Hate when that happens.
but that's how it goes. So the NBA Finals here and there will come and go just as our 200,
get it
200th
fucking over
episode.
with.
So,
Just get it over with.
yeah. Which then, as soon as the NBA Finals ends, so too does the podcast. So we'll have 1 week after that. And we'll go on our summer break.
The thing with the break will be fine. I'm less looking forward to the break from the podcast, but I know as soon as the NBA Finals is over, we're that much closer to football.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this NBA season has been so shitty to me as somebody who actually watches the NBA that instead of enjoying it in the moment, I've just been thinking about football at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not even. Normally, I bet on the NBA. I don't even bet on this shit because the only thing I'd bet on is how many fouls would Shea get fucking called on him? It's not entertaining.
Yeah. Once the NBA is over, then it's 10 weeks till football.
The countdown is on.
8 to 10 weeks until football.
Yeah, the countdown will be on.
Once the NBA is over, my bulletin board goes up, and it's fantasy fucking Law and Order.
Well, now you can't.
Tyreek Hill.
You can't have You can't have Saquon on there now because he's got the Madden curse coming up. So that
Fucking
sucks.
dare me then.
So
Curse is over.
And we're doing the
Curse is
draft
broken.
earlier,
yeah, that's true.
How much earlier?
mid-August.
So we're sacrificing what? 2 weeks? A week?
No.
We normally do it like August 26th or 27th or something.
Oh, I guess that's right.
So we're only missing a week.
Yeah, it'll probably be 2 to 3 weeks earlier than
Dare
normal.
me not to draft Saquon. The curse is over.
I dare you
Curse
not
has
to.
been broken.
I dare you not to.
What year did the curse get broken?
Tom Brady.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay.
That's fucking 4 years ago.
On a final note, which is also a little bit sad, we say R.I.P. to John Brinkus, who was the founder of Sports Science.
I love sports science.
He passed away.
Also,
love sports science.
Jim Irsay.
Oh, yeah, Jim Irsay
Col-
died a
Colts
week or
owner.
two ago,
Who do you miss
so.
more,
Big
Irsay
drug guy.
or sports science?
I miss Sports Science
Yeah,
guy.
sports science.
You watch every episode of
It was
sports
so
science.
great, yeah.
What's your favorite episode of sports science?
The was it Ray Lewis? They did a Ray Lewis one, right? Like how hard his hit was, like compared it to like a sedan or something, like getting hit by a car.
That makes sense. I just enjoy. I don't remember anyone specifically. I just remember it being thoroughly entertaining.
I mean, they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
great. It's hard to like pin them down, but I think one of the most entertaining ones was the sumo wrestler with Kevin Love.
Oh yeah, can he box out a sumo wrestler?
Like
right?
the sumo wrestler was by the free throw line, and he's supposed to come in and like collide with Kevin Love for a rebound, just to show how much impact he gets. Like with someone leading into him, and he's going shoulder first, and it was like an insane fucking pressure before he goes up for the rebound.
Yeah. So R.I.P. John Brinkus, and that's how I will end.
Congrats
the
to
200th
Scottie
episode,
Chef.
so.
Scottie Chef.
Yep.
He's not the next Tiger, but
And-
he's third behind.
So relatable with the baby and the shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't shit. It wasn't shit.
What would you call it?
So the baby didn't shit, because they would have like Meredith, his wife, super hot, would have changed them. Someone in the stands spilled soup on the baby,
Oh.
Hot soup.
so it wasn't a
Soup
blowout.
on the baby. Who's eating soup in the grandstand?
So it was.
I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't a blowout. I'm not saying the baby didn't poop, but if the baby pooped, they would have changed the diaper, but they didn't have a change of clothes. They didn't bring a
I'm
change
pretty
of
sure
clothes.
there's. You can hear her when she hands him the baby. She says, "There's some poop on his back."
well, that
I
might
heard that video, but like
Did she say soup?
maybe.
the great debate.
But further out, when he was about to go on a post-match interview, they were saying that they didn't bring a change of clothes, and one of the fans, like spilled whatever they were eating on the back, and they didn't have a change of clothes.
Got it.
Because it was really bothering me that when I heard it was poop, and Scottie Scheffler's hands while he was holding the baby, it was just all over the poop stain, and I'm like,
wow.
don't touch it, dude.
Don't do it.
Sometimes you got to touch poop.
He had 3 tournament wins in the month of May. He had 3 tournament wins. The Colorado Rockies had 3 total wins as a team.
How old is he?
Which is
Is he in his
crazy.
30s?
No.
I don't know.
He's late 20s,
28,
right?
Yeah.
Scottie Scheffler
26,
is
27,
28.
28. Should have
28
stuck
years
with my
old.
original
Should've
guess.
Stuck with it.
I think it's safe to say, behind Jack and Tiger, he's third in line.
No.
Who would you put third?
Arnold Palmer.
Really? Over his accomplishments?
Yeah.
What he's done as quickly,
What he's
I don't
done
know where.
to this point in his career, it's hard to compare.
Yeah, I think that
It's really, you would only put Tiger next to him because he's doing so much so quick. But if
I'm
we're
not
talking,
even saying he's next. Like, no one's going to be the next Tiger. What Tiger accomplished isn't, I don't think we can have that conversation.
no, I mean, Scottie is on track to accomplish the same things Tiger did if he can continue at this pace. But we've known historically that keeping up this pace is a very, very difficult thing to do.
Not only that, but did Scottie accomplish the same things that Tiger did at like 19, 20, 21?
No.
Okay. So I think the next Tiger, that's not happening. Maybe that's a conversation we have 20 years from now.
Yeah.
But behind Tiger and Jack, it's definitely him.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in the Mount Rushmore, I would say, as far as accomplishments and wins. But the fact of the matter is
insane.
He's only won 3 majors. And when you're talking about those other guys, you're talking about dozens of majors.
How many does Palmer have?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Let's see. Tiger, and I know we're not trying to compare Tiger and Scottie, but Tiger, 82 wins, 31 runner-ups, 19 third places, 163 top fives, 199 top tens. Scottie has 142 events played. He's won 16 times. He's been a runner-up 10 times. He has 11 third-place finishes, 51 top fives, and 68 top tens.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's no doubt that Scottie Scheffler, if he can continue on this trajectory, will be a top 4 player in golf history, no doubt. Whether you argue if he's number 2, 3, 4.
You know what? You know why I think he won't get there? Not because I fucking
He'll
love
have too
Scottie.
many kids.
When Tiger was doing it, I think there's a difference between just being able to focus on golf versus having a family.
That's it.
Well, the cocaine was better back then, that's for sure.
Less social media.
And now, if I was Scottie,
Stephon Diggs would also be very.
if
very
I was
upset
Scottie, I'd
about
be
that.
like,
Yeah.
how much do you want to push it when I just want to spend time with my kids and my wife?
That's true.
You know?
He's made $86 million already. So,
Just this year, right? Or this season, this golf season?
I don't know if that's
Or that's his total career.
He's made more. I saw a stat that he's made more money overall than Phil Mickelson's entire career.
that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, well,
That's fucking
the
insane.
golf purses have increased
That's true.
exponentially
'Cause
over the last
Tiger's
10 years.
Tiger's official money is only $120,
Yeah.
and that's when we're thinking about just the amount of tournaments played.
think
and
that-
Well,
wins and such.
there's people who have been in the PGA or on any tour for 10 years and they've made that much.
right.
You know,
I think the best
5 years.
with all of the Scottie topics and heat coming from the last 2 weeks. I think the best one was his interview where someone asked him, "Hey, do you still play like golf with your friends?" And he told this story. Did you guys hear this?
No.
He told this story about play like the week before this tournament. He said, "Yeah, I go play with my buddies all the time, and I have a buddy that's not a very good golfer. He's like a 10 handicap." I'm like, 10 handicap, pretty fucking good golfer, dude.
Yeah, that's like top 1%.
And
Yeah.
the best thing about him is like this did not sound arrogant. He was just like, "Yeah, I'm Scottie Scheffler. A 10 handicap is a bad golfer,
real
to me."
bad.
And he's like, we play and we put money on. I love gambling on golf with my friends, and I gave him some strokes. And I ended up losing to him that day because I thought he was going to shank one, and he ended up holding it. And it really didn't make me feel good heading into this tournament because he's not a very good golfer. Again, he's a 10. Like, he's
so bad. He's a
he
10
doubled
handicap.
down. He goes, he's so bad, he's a 10 handicap, and I fucking lost to him. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, you guys were talking about like top 4 or whatever. I didn't hear either of you guys say Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore. The second trailer is out. It should be coming out this summer while we are on break. So
July,
go check
right?
out that trailer.
Should we have a slumber party and watch it?
I definitely watch it. And then the Stranger Things final trailer has coming out Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are the 3 release dates that they're going to have there. So
Yeah, I mean, how they're all in college.
yeah,
We left them as kids.
I don't even remember
I mean, there's a time jump.
what the show is about.
I mean, we'll have to
There was
rewatch
a
all
guy
the seasons.
playing
Why
the
we
guitar.
upside down?
Why?
There was a guy with, as soon as he found out they were in the upside down, he grabbed his electric guitar. That's the only thing I remember. He thought, what a perfect time to jam.
Who's Vecna?
It just makes sense.
Oh,
Squid Games.
I-
Summer too.
Oh yeah, that's also coming out in June. I think. Actually, I think it's coming out later this month. Isn't it? Yeah. So
All right.
hot talk. Well, we got to go figure out if my wife is dying upstairs, and you're dying downstairs.
Not so clear eyes.
Farts!
Ken Lucen.